Fishing tackle is like money. It doesn't matter how much you have, you always want more. And unless you have a storage facility as big as Mar-A-Lago, that can be problematic. It certainly is for me. I'm fortunate enough to receive packages almost every day from manufacturers around the country. And no matter how cool I think a product is on first inspection, it invariably ends up in a heap with all the other products I got. And then when I want to use it, I don't really know where it is. I gotta dig through everything to find it. Practically have to put on crampons to scale the mountain of tackle. Such a cool word, crampons. No, it's not what you're thinking. Well, my wife and I are in the process of buying a new house, and I have vowed to get my tackle much better organized in the new place. So I've enlisted the help of my son Joel, who works at Academy and spends every day there organizing tackle. The new place has an air-conditioned workshop, and we're gonna convert it into a tackle shed, or at least that's the plan. Let's see how it goes. You wanna see why this is gonna be such a daunting process? Look at this. Look at these rods. That's probably about 20% of the rods we have. That's just silly. Who could possibly need that many rods and reels? I don't get it, but that's what we got. All right, Joel's picking up a mirror that he broke. Guaranteed 7 years of fishing bad luck. Looks like I'm gonna be leaving him at home for the next 7 years. But as soon as he's done with that, we'll be on our way. I moved a lot of the stuff over yesterday and locked it in the shed. So we're gonna map out a plan, head to Home Depot, buy the gear we need, and then get it all set up. All right, this is the house. This is our new house that we're buying. It's actually new to us. It's 7 years old. We don't technically own it yet, so we can't get inside right now. But we did get permission from the owner to load up the shed. So that's what we're doing now. It's gonna be a monumental project, but I can't wait till it's done. All right, so the shed is lighted. It's also got an AC. It's actually pretty warm today, even though it's December. Could probably turn the AC on, but we're not going to. We'll rough it out. But here's what we're starting with. There's a bunch of stuff that I brought in here yesterday, but it's a fairly sizable space. We've got a lot of tackle, but this should hold it. This episode of Marshman Masson brought to you by Puglia Sporting Goods. All right, Joel and I have kind of come up with a plan. It'll definitely be in flux as we move along, but the shed is 10 feet by 12 feet, and it's got a big bare wall right here. So our thought is to put pegboard there and just hang lures all throughout there like a Christmas tree. We were debating putting rods horizontally along this wall, but it would limit space too much. You wouldn't be able to put anything in front of the rods, and so you'd have a big void right here in the middle that wasn't being used. So we decided to go with vertical rod holders like this, and we're gonna put them right here next to the door. It's not ideal, but the problem is the shed has a low-hanging roof in a big portion of the shed. You can see that here. It runs all the way through here. Most of our rods are 7 feet or longer, and that ceiling's about 6'8", so that's not gonna work. So we've got a very limited space where we can put rods if we store them vertically, and that's what we decided to go with. So now we just have to go to Home Depot and go get our supplies, and we can get to work. These 10-inch pegs are $1 each. $1 each. So I'm looking for a cheaper option, but I may end up having to just invest in these. All right, we're back from our Home Depot stop. We're in the shed. We've got our pegboard. Now we just have to install it. All right, believe it or not, we are both sweating buckshot. It is so hot today. End of December, it shouldn't be this hot, but there's a hard Arctic blast coming tonight. So we're gonna be back tomorrow to finish this project up. Be much colder, but that'll be a whole lot nicer. Can't wait to see what it looks like when we're done. All right, we're back for day 2, and as I promised, that cold front that was supposed to come through last night, it definitely did. It is teeth-chattering cold today. Completely different conditions than we had yesterday. This would be a terrible day to be fishing, so it's a good day to be doing an indoor project like we're doing today. All right, we picked up a couple more panels for our pegboard. We just have to install those, and then we'll start with the organizing process, which is really when it's gonna get fun. Alright, we've got all the pegboard installed, and now the fun part begins, actually organizing the tackle. What we've decided we're going to do is empty everything out of the shed and stack the lures and line and everything else right out here along the floor, leaving ourselves some walk room. And the reason we're going to do it that way is we don't want to kind of paint ourselves into a corner and put stuff on the pegboard and actually discover other stuff that needs to go kind of in that same general area. So give us an idea of what we have and how much space we need. Man, this has been an absolutely monumental undertaking. I knew it would be time consuming, but man, it's taken way more time than I anticipated. Be very, very glad on the other side, but right now it's a lot of work. So we're at the end of day 2, and we're still not done. Unfortunately, we've run out of pegs. We bought 59 of them, and we've used every one of them. So we kind of have to call it a day. It's almost dark anyway. So Joel's gonna run back here tonight after dinner, get some more work done on it. I'll probably have to come tomorrow. But look at this mess. But look at the progress. Our pegboard is getting full. Now you see this garbage bag right here? This is full of tackle. Every year, Joel and I donate a bunch of tackle to Wish to Fish, which is an organization run by Danica Williams. It gets underprivileged and sometimes handicapped kids out on the water to experience the great fishing we have here in South Louisiana. Just a tremendous program. So what Danica does with all this tackle, she sells it at a garage sale as part of the New Orleans City Park Big Bass Rodeo, and they raise a bunch of money to support Wish to Fish. So we're always happy to give them our extra tackle, and that's what that bag is for. Probably a bigger bag this year than we've ever given them. I know she won't be disappointed. All right, Joel, you ready for the big reveal?
I'm ready. It's gonna be good.
Let's go see what we got. All right. This is our new tackle storage shed. Looks considerably different than it did just 2 days ago when we started working in here. All right, up here we have our saltwater swim baits that kind of transition over to imitation shrimp. And then down here are our hard plastic baits. Mostly we use them for saltwater fishing, but of course we've got some echoes here and rattle traps, which we also use for freshwater fishing. A lot of this overlaps between freshwater and saltwater, and that's totally fine. Up here we've got our craws, which we fish a whole bunch in both fresh and saltwater, transitioning down to jigs and worms. And then we've got our frogs, spinner baits, crappie tackle, which of course we call sac-a-lait here in South Louisiana. And we've got our jig heads, weights, hooks, all that good stuff. Ned rig supplies, and then of course all of our line. Plenty of that. Joel's kind of a line junkie, so we run through a lot of line because he's always breaking off.
This episode of Marshman Masson brought to you by H&H Lure Company, and by Bill Lewis, and by Cito New Orleans, and by Versamax Corks, and by Sportsman's Outfitters.
So the shed had some existing shelving, and we decided to utilize that right here. That's going to hold our tackle boxes and sleeves. And what we decided we would do, we've got a bunch of empty sleeves. Some of them aren't even all here yet. What we decided to do, when we're going fishing the next day, kind of plan out what we need and pull a fresh sleeve and fill it up with tackle. Now, the hard part always of being organized is staying organized. Once you get organized, it's a lot easier to stay organized. But of course, you got to be disciplined and maintain that organization. But I know myself and I know Joel, and we are definitely going to keep up with this system. This makes life so much easier. Hopefully you enjoyed the video and it inspired you to get organized. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Also subscribe to the Marshman Masson channel on YouTube. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. And until next time, if we don't see you in the marsh, we'll see you right here on Marshman Masson.